say adulthood is a scam. What are your thoughts? Is adulthood really a scam? Hi again, and welcome to Advantage Conversations. And my name is Amanda. Today, we'll be delving into a very interesting topic, adulthood. And we're going to look at all the myths that surround the conversations around adulthood, conversations around growing up, how we've been able to survive, and then where we're going. So today I have in the studio a wonderful lady and gentleman. So I'll have them introduce themselves and tell us what they do for a living. So you're welcome.
Thank you. My name is Hannah Abraham Sapia. I am a pastor.
Awesome.
I'm a youth coach. I mentor young people and help them to become great adults.
Amazing. And you are?
I am Clement Adebafo, an employee of Enterprise Insurance, an elder of the Church of Pentecost, also into a little of youth coaching.
Okay.
And then my main focus is actually risk management. Yeah, but I love doing risks.
Amazing.
So we're going to discuss more of adulthood.
So you're all welcome. For the purpose of our conversation, I'll probably keep it to Hannah or Auntie Hannah, and then
Clement.
Amazing. So to kickstart, we're going to talk about one of the most talked about things. You say adulthood is a scam.
Mm.
So Auntie Hannah, what are your thoughts? Is adulthood really a scam?
Well, it's an interesting cliche people have come up with because basically, when we talk about adulting, it has to do with responsibility, your ability to respond to situations. And that's where many people miss it because many people actually feel unprepared for the responsibilities that suddenly they need to take up. When you are transitioning from dependence on parents, on mentors, on guardians, to independence, where now you need to take care of yourself, make sure you provide for yourself, wake up, go to work, and nobody's behind you telling you what to do. It can be a little challenging because many people are not trained themselves. They have not trained themselves to be able to take up that self-leadership role, lead themselves to achieve tangible results. And so that responsibility becomes overwhelming. And that's why people say adulthood is a scam. Because when you are younger, somebody does it for you. But now you need to do it for yourself. You need to have that critical thinking skills cap on permanently.
Yeah.
At every point in time, you're thinking for yourself. At the stage, you will start thinking for others because you get to become a married man, you get parenting, and it's all overwhelming suddenly and makes people feel that, oh no, I didn't bargain for this. So it's a scam.
So growing up, I found myself always wearing my mother's clothes because I was so in a hurry to be like her. So when she comes back from work, I'm in her shoe. I wear her suit, and then I look myself in the mirror and I'm like, yay, I'll be an adult soon. So Clement, do you think that we are ever ready for this thing called adulthood?
Ever ready? No, ever ready. You won't be ever ready for anything. Actually, the word responsibility, picking up from what Auntie Hannah said, responsibility, anything with R before it, you want to know what exactly is it that you are R'ing towards. So let's say repositioning yourself, you're at a position and you are supposed to change that position. So responsibility actually is that you giving something and then realizing that, hey, I've been challenged to make things better. So adulthood is actually a challenge thrown to you that you need to make it better. And then we sometimes, get to look up to our parents. What did my parent do? What did this person do growing up? What did I learn? Then how do I get to make it better? Relive it.
Okay.
Exactly. So, yeah.
Amazing. So how would we define an adult, Auntie Hannah, today?
Well, when we talk of adults, the legal age where you are supposed to be responsible and you could be held accountable, that is what the technical term says an adult is. So For example, in some nations, it's 18. You are legally responsible. For others, it's 21. But truthfully, adulthood comes with responsibility, so there should be a component of maturity. So you could find somebody at a legal age of responsibility who is liable to be able to be put in jail or to respond to issues because of that legal age. But that person may not be mature mentally. That person may not be developed socially, because being a particular age does not guarantee automatically you are mentally in that framework or with that capacity to handle the responsibility. So maturity is a key factor in the whole adult game.
Okay. So what I'm hearing from you is that it's really not an issue about age, but it's about where you get to that level of maturity.
Very good.
That's when adulting sort of starts. Yeah, then actually taking responsibility. And I think that's the word I keep hearing.
Yeah.
So let's talk about responsibility. Let's come into the workplace, because with the Gen Zs and now with the Gen Alphas, they all are in a rush to be in leadership positions, and then they're applying for jobs. Someone tells you that, oh, I have 10 masters, 15 PhDs, and you put them in the boardroom and everything they are talking doesn't even make sense. So how do we know that we are actually getting to that point of maturity, Clement?
I would start with training.
Okay.
The first person to train you is always yourself.
Okay.
You would need to train yourself. Sit back. What do I want to achieve in life? What do I want to do in life? What do I want to attain? Then I'll get to train myself.
Okay.
Because if you're going to rely on the PhDs, the masters and all that, those ones are, come to think of it, they're actually the thoughts of others that have been put together in books.
Passed down to you.
Passed down to you. So the best thing you need to do is, you know where you're going, and then you start to train yourself. Being an adult means that you need to prepare. If you want the opportunity to come your way to grab it, it's never going to come. But if you train yourself, then when the opportunity comes,
Okay.
you are ready for it.
Amazing. So we have to train ourselves, prepare ourselves for the opportunities. I hear from what you're saying that there's a lot of introspection that we need to do as individuals. As you go through life, as it throws these curveballs at you, you take it one at a time, review it and tell yourself, okay, what have I learned from this? And then, how do I move on? So Auntie Hannah, how do we then transition from young person to adults? Because we talked about age, and someone would say that I'm 18, so I'm old enough to own my own house. I'm old enough to start my company. We have people who started companies because they thought they were so wise and are currently bankrupt. Was all the fantastic ideas they had. They didn't materialize. I'm one of them. But how then do we transition?
So you see, we don't reinvent the wheel. Whatever exists has actually happened before. Picking up from where he started, one of the secrets to do adulting well is get mentors, get coaches, get counselors. So you're a young person, you have finished maybe a tertiary education, you have a skill that you have acquired, and you want to enter into the professional life. Or in case you've even started, first and foremost, have a roadmap. What do you want to be, or where do you want to go in life? And get people in that space who have done well, who can actually guide you on that journey. Then, like he said, working on yourself, I would say character is key. Today you could get any degree in life, but the job you may actually be given to do may have nothing to do with the degree. Because basically, your character, and when I'm talking of character, I want to narrow down to values that you carry. Number one, integrity. Today, people want trustworthy people. Because you can pick anybody and retrain them. Integrity. Then discipline. Consistency as a particular thing. Excellence. When they give you work to do, bring it out excellently. Then accountability. Can we trust that we've given you X amount of money or amount of time and you can account for the 8 hours I give to you? And then learn. I just spelled the word ideal. So, integrity, discipline, excellence, accountability, and learning. Learning is continuous improvement. You are willing to know what goes on. Once you have this, your character, traits fully in place, there's no way you can't do well
Yeah.
because you are learning. And then once you have that, then now you work on your charisma. When we talk of charisma, your executive presence, the way you speak, the way you dress,
Yeah.
the way you deal with your colleagues. Because remember, we are talking about adulting in the professional setting. It's priority. You go to a boardroom and you are just giving ideas without paying the requisite attention to the elders that are speaking. But when we are youthful, we have this exuberance. We feel we know it all. I mean, our dreams cannot fail. And so many young people fail on the professional level because of that exuberance.
Yeah.
But when you have these principles, then now you get the mentors, coaches, and counselors, like we are saying, you're already setting the pace for development, and then understand that it's a journey. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon.
He's not in competition with anyone.
Nobody.
Exactly.
And what we say is the professional journey. You may actually start in a particular space and you realize along the line that your skills are much better in another environment. So whatever your hands find to do, do it with all your minds. So you may acquire a few skills in a particular field for 3-4 years. But because it's a journey, you reroute and then you move into another field. And before you know it, 10-15 years down the line, you would have acquired the skills and find yourself now in the space where you would function best.
Yeah.
Because there'll be clarity of purpose. There'll be a clear picture of where you are going. Many young people fail because there's really no picture.
Exactly.
So they are just doing cut and paste. They followed, everybody has a PhD, I got one. Everybody has a master's, MBA, I got one. And then at the end of the day, they really don't know what to use with all these. It has nothing to do with their interests, has nothing to do with divine purpose. It has nothing to do with a vision for their life.
Yeah.
And that has nothing to do with their identity, their latent potential skills and talents. And so you are wondering, where am I actually going to? But when you do that, and then now you work on your skills, I can read. I'm an author. If I mentioned it, I have 18 books, and I'm working on a 19th one in the past 6 years. So I love sharing knowledge. So now I have narrowed down. Yet professionally, I'm an environmentalist and a geologist also by training.
Wow.
So if it's the academics, I have it. But now I'm doing what I love to do. I do more passionately, more excitedly. So when you put these principles in place, you'll see that, this is a professional journey.
Yeah.
And as I am going, I'm building and I'm developing, I'm improving, and I'm finding the space where I will maximally give my best.
Amazing. So growing up, when I was getting to the point of entering the university and some courses were thrown at me and I thought, what the hell am I learning? And then I was talking to one of my mentors and then he told me that whatever you're studying in school is really not what you're going to do in life.
Yeah.
So just go and study whatever you're studying. It will open up your mind. That was what he told me. So I went to school and I did all the things that I have to do. So Clement, does school, and I mean the Ghanaian education, does it prepare us really for adulthood?
It does, and it doesn't.
Yeah.
Let me use myself as an example.
Okay.
So I studied mechanical engineering.
Okay.
Then just after my education, I got the opportunity to do my national service with Enterprise Insurance with the RICS unit where I was a motor assessor.
Okay.
So started basic that way. So more or less what I learned in school is what I started my life with.
Okay.
But going deeper into it, realized that, okay, I would like to create a professional path. Then realized that at the time, the petroleum industry had not yet boomed.
Mm.
And indeed, unfortunately, the insurance industry is not really able to take up much. So it's still being managed by the pool. So the thinking was that, okay, then let me go do petroleum engineering in addition to what I have.
Okay.
And then with the insurance, well, place myself.
Okay.
So I did that. And then unfortunately, life also gets to throw things at you. And it's how you get to get back and then re-strategize.
Yeah.
Just after my petroleum engineering, then the opportunity came for an opening for the insurance pool to have a GM or a CEO. But unfortunately, at the time it came, I had not yet prepared enough because
Separation.
I didn't have the experience. I didn't have some other qualifications to take up.
Mm.
And because it's a pool, it's managed by a few people. But I told myself that, hey, that's not it. I'm going to use it one day in life. So let me put it there. And then I changed and I did a master's in financial risk management. Then that started. I started creating my career towards that path. If I rely on what I've learned in the books and then get to realize that, hey, what I thought I would get, I didn't. One is going to really demoralize me. It's going to get me not to put out my best. But I realized that, hey, no, that's life. Life is
Just like that. Yeah.
like that. You need to think fast and you need to act fast. So immediately, again, I did the master's, then continued with my insurance professional certificates so I can well position myself for the next opportunity or even create one for myself.
Yeah.
And then, thank God, I'm creating one for myself.
Okay, awesome. So, what would we say are some of the tips we would want to leave with the young adults? Let me share my life story briefly. So, I had the opportunity to do internship, but I started very late. I had like colleagues that started doing their internship first year. First year they have internship. Second year they have internship. I started like my internship, I think fourth year. I thought I was so unserious, but I think that this current generation or the youth of today don't like to find themselves in opportunities or situations where it's not lucrative. Let me put it that way. So, for example, when you were growing up, you would wash your father's car and he would give you some money. And just by waking up at 4 a.m. to go and wash the car with anticipation that you get that 5,000 cedis, this is 50 pesos now, right? But that 5,000, they give 5,000 was
5,000 was money.
It was
5,000 was
money.
money. Now it's 50%.
But you woke up with that anticipation. Some of us grew up selling after school hours for mommy and daddy and aunties and uncles and those of us who lived with people, Charlie, the drill.
Actually thought.
But today's generation, no, everybody wants to be on soft life presidents, the TikTok, generation.
YOLO life.
But really, what are the tips that we would want to leave with the young adults who are coming up to be on the right path?
Well, the tips we will leave with them is we can't change the formulas. For me, I still believe in principles. You would have to learn these life skills one way or the other.
Yeah.
Just like you shared in your own story. There are soft skills that you'll need, communication.
Mhm.
There are hard skills, learning how to drive. Be positioned such that when every opportunity comes, you are ready. Many people, unfortunately, forget that opportunities don't knock. They just appear.
Yeah.
And they don't give you warning.
Yeah.
But most often, they are not prepared. I'm glad you shared your story. When the first opportunity came, he wasn't ready. But he sat and strategized.
Exactly.
And then now he's ready. Before it knocks, he would now present himself. So they should make sure that they are preparing, whether it's in internships, whether it's in reading, whether it's in skill acquisition, and they should avoid the traps. Time wasting, living in the dream world. Dreams without action will never materialize into reality. Many young people live in a dream world. And then the many young ones today too are limited by comforts because they grew up in an environment where maybe their parents had the advantage. Even those who didn't grow up in comfort, because of technology, the global world is closer to them.
Yeah.
And so they live in a dream world, not in the realistic world. They don't merge the reality with the dream they have.
Yeah.
And so they are on TikTok watching others do well, forgetting that it is time that is being put in to do that.
Yes.
So what are they putting into their life? What's a clear vision for their life? What are the skills they have acquired? What is the dream they intend to achieve? And how are they acting upon those dreams to make sure they get there?
Yeah.
Every year I tell myself I'm doing 3 books or 4 books. I make sure that in January I brought a book out, and then before the mid-year I have my next book, before the year runs out. And it means that I don't sleep enough as much as I would have loved to, because there is always a problem I identify, then I'm finding the solution for that problem, and then I'm writing to a target audience. So set clear goals and let these young ones know that in their generation, knowledge is changing at such a fast rate
Very
that if they don't status to learn and catch up, they would be extinct. I mean, I remember when we were younger, maybe 30 years ago, and this Microsoft Word was coming up and everybody was going to look for secretaries to type. Now, you cannot say you don't know how to use all these tools. But now for them, it's AI. You ask a typical young adult, how many AI tools can you use? And they may not be able to, apart from surfing and browsing. You've lost your job just because you are not current. So the tips is they must be abreast with what is going on in their time. They must have a clear roadmap. They can't trade their tomorrow for their today because tomorrow will catch up with them faster than they.
Amazing. So the young adults listening to us today, I think one of the things that you really, really need to hear is that the world is moving at a very, very fast pace. And you either have to be ahead of the current or you get swallowed in the tide. So, Clement, what kind of insurance solutions do I need as a young adult, as growing in my career, as adulting and life is lifing me? What are some of the insurance solutions that I should consider?
Depends on where you're coming from. But one that really hits me and then very, very important, although it's quite scarce on the market, but you need to get one, is life insurance.
Okay.
Or let's say health. Your life first.
Okay.
Because if you are alive, you can still move on in life. If you're just starting life with not that much properties to get insured, you can start saving towards that. As you're saving towards purchasing, let's say, a property, a vehicle, saving towards purchasing television, start to think of the what ifs.
Yeah.
Where if there is damage to it, there is total destruction to it, how do I bounce back? Yourself, like I said initially, what if I'm sick? What do I get to do?
Yeah.
You can't go into your savings and then go take care of yourself. You're going to deplete your savings. So you would want to do health insurance. And then whenever you're purchasing anything, provide a percentage for insurance. It's very, very important. So if you're buying a vehicle, X amount, add a premium to it that I am buying this vehicle for every year. This is what I'm going to pay.
Okay.
Forget about the claim because you can't tell when there is going to be an accident or an eventuality. You can't, but it is best to prepare, like we've been saying from the beginning. Prepare towards it. Whenever you are buying anything, bear in mind that you need to have insurance for it. Even if it's a phone, tell yourself that, hey, I want to use this phone. By next year, probably I want to change it.
Okay.
What do? I need to start saving towards it if I can't have insurance for it. So it shouldn't just be, I'll go and buy the item, then I'm now looking for how to get it insured. Prepare towards it.
Amazing. Thank you so much. I think it's been a fantastic conversation that we've had. In summary, I'll have you guys share your final words, but from everything that I've heard, one, you are never too prepared for what life is going to throw at you. So prepare yourself. You can have a dream, but if there's no action, as Auntie Hannah said, it's really going nowhere. You have to save and then consider having insurance, because insurance will give you that peace of mind that you need to safeguard against the what ifs, like Seven said. So any final words from you, Auntie Hannah?
Adulting is a process, it's a journey. And whether we like it or not, we would enter into it. And so if you're a young professional, embrace it fully and prepare to make sure that you enjoy it. Don't allow life to throw you in any direction and take just what comes. But make sure that you live a planned life. When you go into a city and you see proper drainage, when it rains, the water goes into the canals that have been prepared. But when there is no planning, it forms gullies and makes it difficult for the terrain. Many people's lives look like that. They just allow the rain to fall and create gullies all over their lives. And others too, because they have planned, everything is structured. Plan your life, plan your adulting period. Like he said, by doing insurance, maybe let me add a testimony. I did enterprise insurance life policies for my parents when they were alive. By the time they both died, I was able to make my claims and I got the money I needed to do. So I feel that everybody should make sure they get the insurances. I am praying that every student, a national service person starts with that insurance scheme before they realize it. When they now have children, when they need something, they've learned the culture. It's part of adulting.
Yeah.
Because you have your financial securities, and when there are problems, you are not shaking.
Amazing. Clement, any final words?
Right. So final words. So I read about developing a 50-30-20 lifestyle where your salary, you would need to split it into these, where the 50 goes into what you really need to do.
Okay.
And some people say 30 should go into what you want, and then the 20 into savings, but I've twisted it.
Okay.
20 instead into what I want this, getting it. And then doing a lot of savings. Whilst you're young, that is when you save. You save a lot. Having in mind that I'm paid X amount, but my formula is I pay X minus this amount so that I don't get to overspend what I earn. If you tell yourself that this is what I earn, you would spend in excess of it. But if you tell yourself it's X minus a percentage or a factor, you're able to live within your means, and then you will be able to live well. Adulthood, in as much as a scam, you can still live a very good life.
Amazing. So it's great to have you on this journey. At Enterprise Insurance, we want to have a journey from cradle to grave. And so with us, from life insurance to health insurance to managing your properties to managing your pensions to managing your assets, everything is a one-stop shop at Enterprise Insurance. So thank you so much for joining us at Advantage Conversations. And this was us talking about Adulthood 101. Thank you. And I'm still your host, Amanda.